What's up, guys? It's Brandon from Belvieu Outdoors. So we're going to do a rig rundown of the bow setup today. I've made a few recent changes, so I figured, why not show off what I've been working on. Deer season's coming up soon, so it's going to be here before we know it. So really trying to get everything dialed in and ready, get out of that 3D summertime long distance shooting, get into that pinpoint accuracy for deer season, trying to figure out what setup I want to run to give me the best results. So I actually run the Mathews Lift 33 in an earth color. I actually switched from right-handed shooting to left-handed shooting when I ordered this bow. It's been phenomenal change for me. So essentially, I'm right-handed, but I'm left-eye dominant. So it's a little weird because I've always been shooting with my non-dominant eye, and that affects my accuracy a lot at long distances because whenever I'm trying to focus on and change my depth of focus to focus on the target or pins and try to find that happy medium, it's really hard to do because I'm essentially just aiming at a blurry dot down there trying to hit what I want to hit. So switching to left-handed shooting, although it's not my dominant hand, has been phenomenal for my accuracy because I'm using my strong eye and I'm able to keep both eyes open and really get that depth of field that I want to focus on the target and have that perfect kind of pin movement right underneath where I want it to be. So it's been really good for my shooting, but it has been a little bit of a change for me. But I've been doing it long enough now. I've had this bow for about a year and a half, I've been shooting it long enough now that it really doesn't affect me anymore. I do only run 70-pound mods on it right now, which kind of helps with getting that non-dominant hand strength up. I don't know if I'll bump up to like 75 or 80-pound mods before the season. Probably not. 70 is plenty for whitetail, so I'm just going to stick with this. But this is my Mathews Lift 33, and I really enjoy longer axle bow because I'm a pretty tall guy. I'm between 6'3", 6'4", so I don't necessarily have a long draw length. But being tall, I like the ability to have that stability because I already have a very, I have a pretty decent draw length. But I want to make sure that I have that stability in the bow, and that longer axle gives you a lot more stability. And I don't really have wind so much as a factor in a lot of the places I shoot, so it doesn't affect me too much. But that stability, and then along with the bars that I use on it, 12 in the front, 10 in the back. I really got it dialed into where it shoots well. So kind of starting from the top, like I said, I run 70-pound mods, and essentially I ordered it with 70-pound mods just because I was switching to left-handed. I wanted to make sure that I was comfortable, drawing back so much because I shoot a lot, so I didn't want to get winded and make it, cumbersome and like have shoulder problems arise because of wanting to be a big boy and shoot 80-pound mods out the box. So that really helped me kind of dial in that non-dominant hand shooting. And then when it comes to the sight, I run the Spot Hogg Fast Eddy XL, and I've run just the Spot Hogg Fast Eddy XL with the original scope housing that it came with, and it was a 3-pin setup, and I liked it a lot. But I just switched to this UV3 XL, and I'm gonna kind of play with it and see how I like it. I like it a lot so far. It's so new that I don't even have a sight tape on this thing yet with it. Just been doing a lot of blank bell shooting, just trying to get comfortable and get my peep housing right for this new sight. I run the one that comes like essentially with the slider, so it's the 3 horizontal pins. I really prefer the vertical pin setup just because I like the vertical pins, and it keeps that it cleaner in the housing. You don't take up so much real estate with the additional pins coming off the side. But I'm going to run this because I like how you can adjust the pins individually, so I can match it up properly with the tapes that I'm going to be running on the Spot Hogg Fast Eddy XL mount. So hopefully that lines up well and allows me a lot of adjustability for those 3, and not being so fixed on the vertical pin setup. The Spot Hogg Fast Eddy XL is a super rugged sight. I've looked at the slider. I haven't made the switch yet. It is a pretty steep point of entry. I know they just came out with the new Mathews branded version that's essentially designed for the bridge lock system. So I've been looking at that one, but I think I'm going to run this Fast Eddie XL because I really like it and it's super durable. It's an extremely strong sight. I've had no issues with it, you know, hitting stuff, and it's been a great sight. So really stoked to try this UltraView XL, the UV3 XL, on this setup that I have. And I'm going to try and get a sight tape put on it and start, you know, shooting all the distances so that I can really make sure everything's dialed in properly. For the drop away rest, I use the QAD Ultra Rest Integrate MX2. It's the Mathews branded one, so it's the one that's essentially designed for the Mathews bows. It's an amazing drop away arrow rest. I've never run a limb driven rest. I prefer this style of drop away, and it's super easy to tune, and it's been great for me so far. It's very accurate. I have no issues with anything hitting on my fletchings, and it's been super durable. I run the Bowmar grip tape. So I have run like the B-Roll grip and things like that. I honestly would prefer just shooting off the riser if I could, but especially in the summertime with sweaty hands and things like that, I don't want it slipping or moving on me or feel like it's sliding down. Even if I'm high up in that pocket, I still feel like there's not a lot of stability. So this grip tape has actually been extremely good for helping me ensure that, you know, I have good stability and that it's not moving around on me or anything like that. I do like the B-Roll grip because it has that flat pack. I don't like anything rounded. I got pretty big, beefy hands, so I want to make sure that it's flat against something and really stable. So this one's been really good, and it's super durable. It's held up well, and it's still tacky, so I like it a lot. I run the Quattro Velago stabilizers. So I got a 12-inch bar in the front, 10-inch bar in the back. I usually run a 3-to-1 ratio on the weights. So right now I have a 1 ounce on the front, 3 ounces on the back. It's been really good because I shoot a lot, so I don't want it to get too heavy. I like the stability of moving up in weight, but I also want to make sure that I can manage it properly and not get winded quicker so I can get more reps in. So this has been really great so far, and obviously it's beautiful because it's color matched to the bow riser. And these are extremely stiff and light all the way out to the ends like they're supposed to be. So they've been great so far. I run the Vero mount in the back so I can adjust all my angles on the rear bar and get it dialed in just the way I want it so that I have that bias that I need whenever I'm shooting and really have that pinpoint accuracy. I run the limb legs, especially during the summertime, because it's so handy to just be able to drop your bow and just let it sit there. It doesn't affect any sort of accuracy because it doesn't even touch the limbs. It just sits on the limb pocket in the bottom brace and doesn't touch the limbs at any point. So it's super stable, and it's really nice to have that as just a, you know, just a convenience factor essentially. For those that get really into the tech details, I run the BCY D-loop material, and for my knock points and serving points for my peep and where my drop away arrow rest connects, I run the BCY 400 nylon. It's really nice to have that because it's super durable and you can really cinch down on it. It gets nice and tight, and especially for like the knock points and peep tie-ins, it's really easy to work with. And I do the old MFJJ method, throw some beeswax on it, get it really tacky and cinch it down. It's held up extremely well, and I've had no sort of fraying on them or anything like that. I mean, they're in there tight, cinched down, just like the day I put them in. For my peep sight, I run the Hamskea Insight. I really like that because I like the adjustability of it. Essentially, it allows you to change the internal portion of the peep housing to different diameters. So whenever I'm, you know, shooting more long distance, I want more accuracy, I'll put a little bit smaller diameter in there. It'll allow me to really close up that peep housing and get that accuracy when I'm not too worried about like low light situations. And then as the season comes up, I'll throw a little bit larger diameter in there to where I can get just outside the scope housing to where it'll allow more light through, so I can see that pin placement extremely well and get more light transmitted through there and kind of get what I need to do. And especially at shorter distances like during deer season, you know, 30, 40 yards. It really helps to have that additional buffer on the outsides of it, and you can still have a lot of accuracy. So it's been great. So this is my setup. I've really enjoyed it so far. I've had no issues with the Mathews Lift. It's been a great setup, and I really enjoy it. I haven't had any of the limb splitting issues that people have had, knock on wood. So hopefully it stands the test of time for me and is extremely durable. All the original match grade string, like serving material and things of that nature, is holding up extremely well. I really like these match grade strings. The center serving is holding up extremely well. I don't see any fraying, so I'll probably run this through the season. But a lot of times, if the center serving starts fraying and you start seeing a lot of pinch around where your knock point is, it's really easy to just serve over that, or remove that old serving and serve over it. So if I run into any issues and I have to reserve that, I'll make sure I video that and put that up, just kind of show what that process looks like. But it's super simple if if you're been bow teching for any point of time. So I really like it. I run the Easton 6mm match grades. I was running a 6.5 last year, and I really liked it because it was a good mix between hunting and 3D. Kind of had that little bit larger diameter. It did catch a little wind, but I run the AAE full helicals, so it was running really accurate. I dropped down to the 6mm just to give me a little bit smaller diameter. I might drop down to a 5 in the future, not sure, but I really like the 6.0 match grades a lot. So I'm going to keep running those with the full helical. So make sure that I keep that accuracy up and just be consistent with my arrow setup. I've been running it for the full off season, and it's been shooting well, so I don't want to change too much unless I really need to. So like I said, Mathews Lift 33, great setup. And I really enjoy it. I'm really looking forward to this deer season, doing more bow hunting. I gotta admit, I do a lot of rifle hunting, but getting back into trying to be predominantly bow hunting. And I shoot a lot in the off season, do a lot of 3D and tact type stuff. So it's only natural for me to just keep picking the bow up and get more and more comfortable with it. So I'll be doing some self-film hunts this season, trying to really up my game and figure out how I can be better and what I can do to become a better hunter and conservationist altogether. So I'm really looking forward to this deer season, getting to film my hunts, shoot my bow more, spend time in the outdoors. So this is the Lift 33. Hope you enjoyed this, and if you have any questions, just drop them down in the comments section. Give this a like and subscribe, and we'll bring more content to you. I appreciate it.